Shalom. This is my Yael Ben Yah, and I just want to come to you on this holy Shabbat night, and I just want to share this concept that we sincerely need to understand. We have to truly grasp this. We cannot take any book, any biblical writings, and use it to create new doctrines or to glean from it something that completely contradicts the foundation of Scripture. And with the Scripture I am talking about the books of the laws or the books of Moses or the instructions of Yah himself. That is the foundation of all biblical writings. If you get any book outside of the 5 books of Moses and try to use them to come up with new doctrines, and it plainly contradicts what is written in the Torah, you are interpreting it wrong. And you will have to start over again. You will have to pray. You have to seek God's face to give you the proper understanding. Or you have to seek someone out that has a better understanding than you to see is their interpretation lining up with the text itself. Because for too long, we take verses out of context and create new doctrines and try to say God gave it, but we have messed up greatly because we have not went to the Torah to filter what we think the prophets may be saying, or what Psalm is saying, or what Proverbs are saying, or Ecclesiastes, or any of the books of history. So we use any of these books to come up with something that we think it may be saying, but it contradicts what is plainly laid out in the writings of Moses. We are out of order, and we need to go back and start over. Because we must filter everything through the 5 books. And this is really an introduction to what I'm going to get into the weeks to come. I will be coming from the book of Isaiah to tackle Isaiah 53. But I want to share this first to let you know that we could plainly see Yah declaring precepts from the Torah that plainly lays out a concept that is completely foreign to what is shared from Isaiah 53 of the understanding this is speaking of this suffering servant is the one that will die for the sins of Israel or the sins of the world. We can see that is totally contrary to what Yah himself has said in the book of Torah. He has plainly said countless times within the book of Torah, and even some prophets echo the very things that's said in the Torah, that the soul that sin is the soul that will die. So when people read Isaiah chapter 53 and you read this without the complete understanding of what is laid out in the Torah, you are destined to make up new doctrines. You are creating a fallacy, a non-truth, and you are trying to breathe life on it by saying this is a prophecy from God speaking of a coming Messiah that will die for the sins of the world. Because the text itself plainly does not state such things. You have to read into the text what you personally believe that it is saying. But if you look at the text itself, you can plainly see it's not speaking of a Messiah. It's not speaking of Jesus of Nazareth or Yeshua, whatever you may want to call him. This is not a prophecy speaking about him. Because if you look into the whole of Isaiah 53 and not certain verses of Isaiah 53, you could plainly see it's not speaking of Jesus or Yeshua, call it by his Hebrew name. So in the weeks to come, I will tackle Isaiah 53. But right now, I just wanted to give you this understanding of to properly understand the biblical writings, the prophets, the wisdom books, and the history. It must be filtered through the first 5 books of the Bible, where God speaks, where God is laying out his laws, his precepts, his statutes, and his regulations to his people. And once you get a firm understanding of that, you can properly see the best way to interpret this is I must filter it through that. And if your interpretation lines up with the Torah, it's a good chance that you are not contradicting the Torah and you're not taking something out of context and creating a doctrine that is not from God. So I just wanted to share this with you as, like I said, as an introduction to have proper understanding before we go into the book of Isaiah, chapter 53. Because we must understand, many of us do not know how to read the Hebrew scriptures in its original language. But we have to understand, we have to change our mindset and have a Hebraic mindset that will give us the proper understanding of the Hebrew scriptures. It's not enough to know Hebrew terminologies, but you still have a Greco-Roman mindset. We must embrace a Hebraic mindset that will give us the proper understanding of the Hebraic text. So, this is your brother and your friend, Yael Ben Yah. And I just want to give this brief introduction to what we will be taking a journey in together, I hope, in the next few weeks. Looking into the book of Isaiah, chapter 53, to see who is indeed the suffering servant. Shalom.